Hello everybody, here we are in Hollywood, California again, our home, and you are listening to, or watching, we're on TV right now, you're watching the Farrell Hair Loss Show. And beautiful day out here, isn't it?
It's a very beautiful day in Hollywood.
Why would anyone live anywhere else? Okay, to my right is my co-host, Michael Garcia, a man who has looked heavily into all the hair all the solutions for hair loss situations, and you've seen Michael with hair systems, without hair systems, and he is, I'd say, a hair loss expert at this point. At least you and I are both at this point self-proclaimed bona fide hair loss experts, correct?
We spend a lot of time thinking about it and talking about it and reading about it. Probably more than most people. That's great. It's great to be back.
So together we can help you in your search for more hair follicles. And today we have, again, gracing our presence, we have Sylvia Mathis, who has agreed to be a guest on our show for the second time. Why are we doing this? Well, besides just having her gracing our presence, we find that with Sylvia we can get into issues regarding female hair loss situations, and it needs to be discussed more. Most people think it's a man's business, don't they?
It's so difficult to find women, you know. I mean, it's difficult to find men who want to come and talk about it, express, you know, their experience with hair loss. To find a woman who will do it, who will be so honest about it, it's very rare, so we're lucky.
Yeah, it is very rare to have anyone even model for you, because it's secret, you know.
That's right.
Secret. Anyway, our purpose here is to get rid of the confusion in finding an answer to your particular hair loss situation, and to discuss the various treatment options that are available to you. We're going to discuss them openly and honestly. This show is for men and women, and you'll find that this show is a very unusual format. There's no call 800 right now, and if you call now you get the stigmatized. There's none of that. We have no financial agendas that we know about. We're trying to come across as pure as the soft falling snow, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and there's so much snow out here. And so there's no advertisers on the show. There's no promotions of any sort. We won't be referring you to phone numbers or websites. Okay, so luckily, though, people are so interested in this and they research the subject so much that they find us. And it's nice. We like your feedback when you do find us, so don't hesitate to contact us. Okay? We try to strip away at the industry jargon so that you get the whole story, in a way that you'll understand. And we are not know-it-alls. This is just pure logical information. We feel it's logical, that we hope will be of value to you, or it just might be of no value at all. You're the one that has to decide.
Yeah, what we hope to do is to do all your research for you and kind of translate it into language that's a little easier to understand, and certainly more time-saving.
More time-saving. And today, once again, we're talking to Sylvia Mathis, and she has solved her hair loss situation. She looks great. The camera want to zero in on her. Look at this woman. She's actually wearing a non-surgical hair replacement system. This was her answer to her hair loss situation. We'll be touching on many subjects as we talk to Sylvia, within the boundaries of female hair loss suffering.
For people who didn't tune in last week, I mean, we should let them know and get a nice close-up on Sylvia. She is just like I am in real life.
Absolutely. Shaved.
Yeah, we'll get into that. She actually shaves her head. Sounds very interesting. I have all kinds of images there. And we'll be jumping back into the viewer's mailbag today, because that's been very, very interesting.
We've got a lot of more mail.
And we don't read them all, and we don't want to take up the whole show on just reading responses.
So we do respond to everybody personally, even if we don't get to your mail on the air.
Michael does more responding than I do. People have been tracking us down, writing us and sending emails. We really appreciate it, and we enjoy the feedback. We've made a few corrections on the show because of some of this feedback already. So anyway, we find it very interesting to read your correspondences. If you, during the course of the show, if there's things that you object to or agree with or want to go head-to-head with us on, jot them down and contact us. Contact us. It's easy to find our names. My name's Richard Farrell. Michael Garcia. We're out there. If you have any requests of future guests, because Sylvia can't be in here all the time, we're only going to hold it to 2 shows, but there's a lot of ladies watching this show, and her questions are going to be very, very relevant. So, Sylvia, if you don't mind, I'd just like to go right to it.
Sure, absolutely.
So, talk to me about self-esteem. Talk to me about self-confidence.
Yeah. Let's talk about that as a teenage girl.
Actually, do you feel you were discriminated against? Let's start there, because we got a little bit of Sylvia's history, but we got to recap for first-time viewers. But do you feel, were you ever discriminated against?
I'm sure that I was, but at the time, when I my hair loss first started, I was a teenager, and there's so much weirdness going on anyway. You just sort of feel like there's a spotlight on you every moment anyway. And I think I probably just added the fact that I wished my hair was healthy and long and strong to the bag of everything else I was dealing with. But yeah, I think definitely there were times when I maybe felt like a joke was being made or something was happening, because I always kept my hair really short,
So
cut really
would you
short.
like to go back to school as Carrie and just
no, I'd like to go back to school as me right now.
Oh, that's one way. Yeah.
Hi. But
Janis Joplin did that. She went back into the neighborhood and just...
Absolutely. I think particularly because I'm an actor and a singer, and I'm kind of like in the public eye. How you look is, it's just huge. It's just really important. And, I went through the whole time of just feeling like everyone was always looking at my hair, and everyone was always making judgment calls about it. And I know that particularly in the African American culture, I was joking with a girlfriend yesterday about how when you go to church, I think people look now more at how your hair looks than they do at what you're wearing. They look, they're checking you out to see who's got a weave, who's got bond, who's got all that done. And there's even a little thing that women will do. They'll give you a hug. African American women who watch this show will know that I'm telling the truth. They'll give you a hug, and they'll feel like right here on the back and the nape of your neck to see if they can feel humps.
Ah, interesting.
And I'm like, feel on, sister girl. Right there, and it really is a good feeling. You're in a theater, you're in a church, you're wherever you are, you're picking your kids up from school, soccer mom, whatever, and you're not thinking about what people are thinking about your hair. Because whether it's up in a little clip or in a ponytail or down or whatever, it just always looks great, and it's really nice to be able to get up and not have to just deal with all that drama.
Do you really feel as though wearing your hair has given you your life back, has restored some of these things that you might have lost when you lost your hair?
Yeah, for me, I think it was about restoration in terms of confidence to a degree, but I think also it was just about not always feeling stressed out about it. It just restored, I guess, my sense of peace regarding it, because I really had, by the time I started doing this research, I had gone through every kind of possible way of getting hair back. Except surgery. I didn't do surgery, but everything else, and I had all these, people making me all these crazy promises. I even had one guy actually do weave on my hair and stick the needle in my scalp and actually thread right through my skin. But you get so used to the pain that you don't even, it's like, oh, that hurts a lot. Maybe it's just really tight right there.
So that's the surgical solution we keep hearing
about,
right?
Exactly. Sew it right into the skin, But no, yeah, it definitely gave me my peace back and my freedom.
Oh, that's giving back a lot.
My freedom. If I want to go and jump in a pool, with the kids, if I want to go do whatever, I can go do whatever. And I don't have to. I remember summers, not being able to. I love this one, not being able to go because I can't get my hair wet. I couldn't get my hair wet. It's just, Do
you feel as though you'd have been able to pursue a career as a singer, actress, model, had you not taken this step?
Well, I already was. I was doing that already, and so I think I became also very familiar with all of the craziness that's out there, being on a set and seeing some of the madness that they do. And in large part, I think some of also the damage to my scalp was done in modeling, in film, and that kind of thing, because they just do whatever. They glue and clip and pin, and I mean, one person took a gun and just weld it. It's crazy. It's just insane. But as long as they get the look, they don't care what how they're damaging your own scalp or your own hair. And certainly now, though, I have more options, more versatility, more the options in terms of the kinds of roles I can play have certainly opened up, because the look I have now, for example, is very sort of, kind of combination, what is she kind of thing. And so that's awesome for me. That just opens up a whole arena that I wouldn't have availed itself to me.
That's a good point. I've noticed that with men, men want their hairstyles just one way. They want that curl to fall just like this, or they're not a man. I don't know what it is.
Right, yeah.
And of course, then there are the guys that are just totally loose. But for a woman now, women are used to changing styles, curl, straight, highlights, dark, etc.
Even within a day. Or most guys, they do it, they're done for the day.
Exactly.
Where for me, in an hour, I may decide to put it up in a clip. Sure. I may want to put it in a ponytail, and I can do that. I can brush it straight back in a ponytail. I can get it braided if I want to. I can flat iron it. I can curl it. I can wet it. It's having all of that versatility, particularly for someone like me who is in the industry, and that's required. Being a chameleon is part of my job description. It's what is required of me. I can be that now, and I don't have to be concerned. I remember actually being on a set with a stylist, and I just assumed that she knew. I don't know why. I guess because I figured she would be so familiar with it that she would just know by touching. We worked for 13 hours that day on the set, and she did my hair exclusively and did not have a clue.
Wow. Until
the very end. And I told her, and she was like, "You're kidding, right?" I'm like, no, not kidding. And she was just completely blown away, and those are really the kinds of comments I get actually quite often.
I'm completely blown away sitting here next door again and checking it out.
I think I have a very eagle eye on these matters, and I would never think that is anything else but natural growing hair.
One of the criticisms that we get, or that you hear about cheap hair replacement systems, is that if you get one, that you essentially exchange your concern over being bald with your exchange of concern about getting caught and getting spotted with a hair system.
Right.
That I don't see how that could be possible for Sylvia.
I do the reverse. I think I was actually saying on the last time I was here with you guys is that it's fun for me but I'm kind of odd, anyway, but I'll tell a person, I'll tell a girl or a guy or whatever, not just folk I meet on the street, but someone that I'm sort of, and they just, most of the time they don't believe me. And they have to sort of, I have to sort of prove it to them in some way. But I think it's fun. It's fun for me to go, you know what? Because I know it looks great, So.
Well, on the last show, at the end on the show, we all agree that you look great. But let me ask you, there is a maintenance side to this.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Without bringing all us down.
No.
How much effort is this?
Well, you trade one maintenance for another maintenance. I mean, and for me, not having to deal with, first of all, not having the fact that my hair is all messed up and I don't have that hair anymore is instantly not an issue. So whatever the maintenance is for me on that end is worth it to have my hair, look like this. But not having to deal with the relaxers and the chemicals and the blending and all of that, and being able to just maintain it myself it's just been very easy. It hasn't been difficult.
Maybe I know you've heard this before on the last show, but we have a mantra that we have people repeat, and we're going to interject that now and go back to the mantra and see how some of this actually relates to you. If we can have that on the monitor. We'll just run through this. Michael, you could start it off.
Think twice before opting for any surgical solution.
It actually says triple think.
Triple think and then think again.
Exactly.
I think I'd say infinity think.
Yes, infinity think.
Infinity think.
And you got to be tough. Don't be a sniveler.
No, man.
Right? Go ahead. Sylvia, you can read that. What do you think?
Oh, and let's see if I could even see it. Approach snake oils, with extreme skepticism. Absolutely. I had the tea tree and the lavender and this and the that and no.
It's not going to go
It
away.
feels good though. It's a nice massage.
And non-surgical hair replacement systems won't hurt you at all.
We've heard some serious testimony of that today and last week.
That's true.
Absolutely, yeah.
And no matter what your hair loss situation is, rest assured it can be fixed.
I want to say this one. The opinions of your friends, your family, coworkers, whoever else, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Very
It
good.
doesn't matter. Do this for you. You know?
And you will not lose your lover if you don't look goofy. There's no reason to look goofy. You can look great, like Sylvia.
Absolutely.
Hey, as long as they can take you out in public. Whatever you choose to do it for yourself.
That's right. Do it for
No.
you. You have
Exactly.
to. You know.
Very good. Okay, so Sylvia, let me ask you, you have children?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and this isn't a bad gene that's going to be passed on for some reason. This is mainly traction alopecia and things like this.
Mm-hmm.
And do you hide this from your children?
No.
Really?
Not at all. In fact, they're used to me and all of my changes and everything. But they actually, once I did this for them, they love it. They just, every time they see, like, Mom, your hair is so gorgeous. The other night I actually sat down with one of my daughters and she was brushing my hair. And she was brushing it, putting in little braids and that's not a big deal maybe to someone else, but to her, that's huge. For me, that's huge. That she can just sit there and, it's a great thing. And before, she couldn't touch my hair. It's like Mom's hair is up in a scarf or, I just, and now, it's
the little
it's
things
great.
that
Yeah,
people
little
take
things like
for
that.
granted,
Yeah,
right?
that you just get used to not being able to do.
Do you get any criticisms at all? Like, oh, it's too blonde?
No,
Never.
actually, I never get any. No, that's kind of weird too. I never even thought about that till you said it. I don't really. No, I don't. I never get. It's too blonde or it's too straight or it's too weird. Mm-mm.
So you can do anything with your hair. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Well, to our audience that might be looking at this for the show the first time, I want you all to realize that Michael has the same condition. He doesn't have hair on the top of his scalp, and Sylvia shaves her hair in order to wear her hair system so she can get the density that she wants up there. So they're both hair loss sufferers. Sometimes Michael wears his systems on the show, and sometimes he doesn't. And I like the fact that one week we see him with it, and maybe who knows what he'll be next time. And hopefully we'll start seeing him in some short styles and some different looks in the future, because you're continuing on with you plan on wearing hair the rest of your life,
I
right?
plan on wearing hair as long as it's fun, and it is fun, for all the reasons that she's talking about, and it gives me back all the things, that we talked about too. Hair does a lot for me.
You know what? Just really quickly, I just was thinking about this. That when you say that I shaved my head, I can just see the women in the audience going,
Yes.
"Oh my God,"
Big resistance.
But it's really not. Was it an easy choice? Instantly, no, it wasn't an easy choice. But once the hair system was on me, and the choice, there was no other choice.
Right.
It was like the best decision I'd ever made.
Yes.
But what I would like to say to them is that it's really more the idea of shaving your head.
It's true.
It's more the idea that this is so permanent, and what if it doesn't work?
Right.
What if it's not? That's why it's so important to do your homework, do your research, find out, who these people are and the places, the options that you have. Because having it done initially was scary, but boy, I tell you, once the system was attached, and I remember sitting there looking in the mirror and just being kind of like you guys right now, going, because I was just in awe of what it did for me, and the reality of it really working.
Well, in my career, I've gone through that thousands of times, and with a lady, and she's had thin hair all over, and we get to that point where her systems are made. It's time to put them on, right? Mm-hmm. And I just have a trick, I guess. I just do it so quick and get that on, that moment where it's like, oh, this is what I look out for without my hair, and then boom, it's back and it's over. No one cares after that.
Back
no one cares.
Better than before.
Yeah, and
the way it was supposed to be.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just once you do it, it's done. It just gives you such freedom. I think for me, it gave me even an emotional freedom. because there was no more concern about, is it growing? Is it getting better? Is my hair going to ever be itself again? Because I don't have my hair, like my natural hair growing from my scalp anymore. It's not an issue anymore.
Now, actually, in your community, the African American community, they really have an unusual situation. It's very accepted with the braids and the different things that you guys do to your hair. And the comments are you saying, well, people hugging you and checking out your hair and trying to find what's going on. It's like it's so normal and natural. We have the stigma to fight, as Caucasians, I guess. We have that stigma of seeing it being the butt of jokes on films, and that last Budweiser commercial, which the wig man or whatever he was called, and again another slam the hair loss sufferers, and it really stops people that want to do something about their situation from doing anything because they're afraid they're going to be goofy and in that group of goofy people. But it's not goofy.
Well, one of the things, we should say, looking at Sylvia, like I said, I'm astounded. I know I have my own experience with my own hair, and I have friends, but I've never, seen a woman's hair system look quite so amazing. So we should say that not just any company can do this. This is high-end, artistic, ultra custom hair system, and you got to do the homework.
This is obviously not from an inexpensive discount chain.
No, it wasn't. And it was not inexpensive, but it was worth it. It's an investment in me. It's an investment in my future. It's an investment in my peace. And there's no price. You can't put a price on peace. And,
So that's a good point. You're paying, and you write out your check or pay through credit card or whatever it is you have. Obviously, you're paying for a base, an invisible base with hair on it. That's what you're paying for, but what you're really getting is so much more that you can't put.
You can't.
People don't advertise that. You can't say it, but it happens.
Yeah, I know it sounds dramatic and whatever, but it really did change my life. It really did, and that's priceless to me.
Do you think a woman with a hair loss situation should have a different perspective on this than a man?
Well, I think they just do anyway. I think whether they should or not is whatever it is, but they do. I think that because we're so identified by our hair, that for a woman it's so much about, it's your femininity, it's your sexuality, and for a man like Michael, Michael looks hot with a shaved head.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I'm kind of cute, but I'm not going to walk around with my head shaved. You know what I'm saying? And for most women, it's just, you want it. That's why women spend thousands of dollars year after year after year on these processes and this and the and the wigs and and never really getting that result, that they actually really had hoped for. That was my experience.
And of course, with females, the reasons for hair loss there's just so many more reasons besides just genetics.
And stress.
And of course, you never thought you'd ever be, in pregnancy.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, you never thought you'd be shaving your head, so it's got to be a lot more traumatic, than a man, because we feel this is a likelihood in our future.
Yeah, I never thought about this. It's actually true. Where most men kind of expect at some point they have to deal with this, and where women, we don't really think about it. Not that way,
No, it's just, to be fair, to be honest about it, we have to admit, it's much more traumatic for a woman to lose her hair. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
It's almost like some sort of this weird stigma and this sense of something about you is gone now. About your person is gone now. Kind of, I don't know, almost like you're not a real woman anymore. And I'm not saying that, a woman with cancer or mastectomy, that kind of thing is equal to hair loss, but it is the same kind of effect psychologically,
In my career, my chemotherapy type clients were my most appreciative, absolutely my most appreciative. They really realized how nice it was to have all their hair back the way it was intended to be, right down to the sideburns. And again, looking at you, I don't think people realize all that hair coming out from your sides is hair from the system, all growing out from the skin.
Yeah, which is another reason I chose to shave, because I wanted absolute versatility. I wanted it to look flawless from temple to temple, sideburns, everything. I just wanted I wanted to be able to do this and put my legs up on my head and not think about what's gonna flip up or show or whatever.
And you can ride in a convertible, let your hair fly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know, and I'm not afraid for a very nice man to cut it. You know?
And what do, of course, no, I think we went on this, no use going back there again, about your dating situation. I mean, what's the difference? I mean, big deal, you just have your hair back and no one can really feel anything, find anything, so it's, you know.
And I mean, honestly, most guys don't. They just want you to look great.
Right.
They just don't want you to look goofy, as you said, you know, because they just want you to look great, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Yeah, and you know, men, women, you know, in whatever case, I mean, it's the what it gives you, what the hair system gives you, your hair back, your feeling of wholeness, all those things is what is going to make the date anyway. Not the hair itself, but how you feel about yourself during that date and meeting people. That's the magic of this sort of solution to hair.
Yeah.
You know.
Quite honestly, it's never really been an issue. You know, since I've got my hair done, it's really not. I mean,
well, we don't care what's real and fake on a woman.
As long as it looks great.
As long as she's turning heads,
right?
We're happy.
Exactly.
And as long as she's feeling good, you know. I mean, that's what makes it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, one thing we did do this time, we skipped over some questions and answers from the audience because, frankly, we don't get an opportunity to interview many guests, and hopefully that's going to change. But there's so many women out there; it's almost equal to men that actually have hair loss situation, except women do cover with scarves and things like this. On our next show, well, first off, we want to thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
We know it's very bearing to do this. We're not sure of our viewing audience, but we know people are watching and don't know the real numbers.
I can't wait to read the mail.
Yeah, and I hope, I'm sure it's going to inspire a lot of women to get off their duff and solve their hair loss.
Get their life back.
I hope so.
Right. Well, anyway, I'm certainly touched by your candor here, and your system looks totally real. There's no way I could detect this. And
you couldn't? That's awesome.
And I consider myself knowledgeable enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And Michael and I think we're going to be at the American Hair Loss Council show. People are going to have to figure out where that is and find us. And hopefully we can push the council to do more things like this for our industry, you know, and you know, I think non-surgical hair loss has to be pushed as a viable option for female hair loss sufferers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the most viable.
Yeah, exactly. Besides just wigs.